My name is Aideen Doherty and I work in the Community and Development Directorate in Donegal County Council.
What's the creative sector like here in Donegal?
I think the creative sector has improved hugely. One of the things, I suppose, for me personally, is that I'm relatively new to the whole area of understanding what the creative economy is all about. And I think that predominantly, even a definition had taken a while to kind of get to for myself. You would have a look at what kind of maybe is being said worldwide, what's been said within Europe, what's been said nationally, and how we kind of define it. And I'm currently kind of involved in a project called Creative Age with the Western Development Commission, where that whole kind of identifying the creative sector and understanding it better is part of the agenda. So in Donegal, I think that there's an awful lot of people doing an awful lot of really, really good work. But where we, I think, fall down a bit is in that whole area of networking and collaboration. We don't do enough together and we don't fully understand what each other is at. And I think that's one of the things that we would be hoping over the next year to improve. We're currently undertaking an exercise to just look at who's out there, what are they doing. We're trying to pull together a database and get a better understanding ourselves within the county of just what the opportunity is. And I think if we can get to that place, that'll help hugely in helping the majority understand what the opportunity for collaboration and cooperation is.
And Mediatek will provide that opportunity with networking and with seeing what other European countries are doing.
I think Mediatek will yes, definitely in a certain way. And I suppose just personally speaking, I've only kind of come late to this. I only really fully understood what Mediatek was about in January of this year. And I think that there's an awful lot of opportunity for us to learn. There's no doubt about that. There's huge learning we can do within that space, and working with other European countries and seeing what other European countries are doing is great. But I think that in some instances what begins to happen is that you can only pick out certain little bits and pieces where you can see, well, that could work here or that's the opportunity here. And I think that in order for us to get ourselves into that space in a way that we can meaningfully engage, we need to get to a point ourselves where we have an understanding of what is our creative talent in this county. What are the creative opportunities within our education sector? And I mean, obviously what Cormac McCain is doing here in the LYT is hugely significant in terms of this area and the opportunity for students. But we don't profile that well enough. I don't have an understanding of that as somebody who is in a place to bring influence. And I think that's partly where we fail, the sector.
Well, one of the things, as I say, it's a learning thing. A lot of things that we need to do. It's okay learning the skills, but the skills has to be adapted into the workforce, and so that's another discipline that sort of needs to be brought into the level as well. From a point of view, you had a great passion talking about the film board here in Donegal. You're highly involved with that. Tell us more about that.
Well, the film office in Donegal is part of a regional network for the Irish Film Board, and basically what we do is we act as a point of contact for anybody who's looking to make film or documentaries or advertisements here in the county. And what we do is we literally act as a go-between. We're the point of contact and we will assist with a range of services. So we do things like we get permissions, licenses to do various different things. For example, if you're working in an SAC, Special Area of Conservation, you have to have certain permissions. You have to bring in the National Parks and Wildlife in order that they're happy that you go in and what your activity will be, and you leave a place back. And if you're working on beaches, there's certain rules and regulations. So we would work very closely with around those types of things. We also find locations for films who are coming in. We act as a point of contact in that regard as well. And then in terms of the services, like everything that people need when they're actually in filming, like accommodation, taxi companies, food, drink, nighttime activity, whatever it happens to be, hairdressers, whatever, we just basically are the point of contact and we provide the support in that space. And we've had some really good successes over the last number of years. Most recently Grabbers, which was made here. Company was a collaboration with Northern Ireland and Britain. And basically, that film production came in and over a weekend found all the locations that they needed in a very small geographic area. And thankfully that film's doing really, really well. It's about to get a US and Australian release, so that's great.
How would you like to see the creative sector develop now over the next number of years?
Well, I think that for me personally, definitely a greater awareness across the county of what the opportunity is. I think in terms of the whole development of the creative economy, we've only scratched the surface. And there are certainly, I mean, I think that the county's ready for it, the activity is happening, but I think there's a greater need, as I say, to network, to collaborate, to look at opportunities for training and development, and to ensure that the young people that are in this place that can actually do this work get an opportunity to stay, are engaged, you know, in a meaningful job that gives them, you know, the money to pay their rent and whatever else it happens to be, and that they do look at it in a regional context. And I think the opportunity to work cross-border and across Europe is really, really good. We're involved in another project, Donegal County Council, through the Western Development Commission with Craigavon Borough Council, for example. And it's amazing, you would think sometimes that our most the appropriate partners would be just literally on the other side of the border. What we're finding is that, you know, as far away as Belfast, not that far, but Belfast, Craigavon, Dublin, you know, we're doing things in this county that people are very interested in, and they're interested in hearing about. And I think that one thing that we're really good at doing is telling the story, but I just think in this instance we haven't done it enough, and I think that we just have to get it to a stage where people locally even have the better understanding of what is actually happening.
Having the proper infrastructure in place is a big help.
Yeah, hugely. But I mean, I think that the infrastructure, you know, if you think about what people are doing in that space and what the requirements are, they're not huge. You know, good connectivity, good opportunity, I suppose, for liaison with others. You know, it's not that you can work in isolation. It doesn't matter that you're living out on the side of a hill, the foot of a mountain in Donegal. That doesn't actually matter. What matters is that you've got good broadband and you've got good opportunity to link with somebody else. And we have really, you know, strong examples of where that has happened in the past and where it's worked in the past. So I think that the whole rural isolation is no longer an argument for people not staying. I think the argument for not staying is that that you have to put other things in place in order for people to ensure that they can stay and can make a living, you know. And those other things are around that whole training, collaboration, networking, developing the sector in a way that people, as you say, that it's appropriate. Whatever they're learning in college is actually something then that people need when they come out. So making sure the skill set that people are learning is appropriate for whatever businesses decide to be here. And I also think that whole entrepreneurial kind of set of circumstances, what you'll find an awful lot with creatives is that they're really good in the creative space. They're not so good around the administration, they're not so good around the business plans, they're not so good in all of that. And I think it's about finding and linking those who are administration based or who have the understanding of administration and development of idea alongside those who are the creatives and who just like to get on with the business that they're interested in, you know. And that's what I mean too, I suppose, about the collaboration opportunities.